Let's look at Chapter 4, Lesson 5 Review, Data Analysis and Probability. For 1 through 5, use the table or the bar graph. So looking at this, let's figure out what the table and bar graph represent. So our titles here show that the table and bar graph are representing money spent in school vending machines during 1 week. So Monday $52, Tuesday $28, Wednesday $35, Thursday $48, and Friday $69. So let's use this information to solve the problems. Number 1, what is the difference between the greatest and the least amounts spent? So keyword being difference. So I know the greatest is Friday, which if I look here, Friday is 69. And then I also know that the least is going to be on Tuesday. You can visually tell on the graph, and I know that that's 28. Go ahead and subtract. You should have came up with $41. You now need to describe how spending changed during the week. So visually we can tell that people started buying on Monday, then stopped, and then spending went up gradually. Make sure that you have an explanation that explains that spending is increasing towards the end of the week. Let's look at number 3, reasoning and proof. There are 4 houses on one side of the street. John's house is between Rachel's and Latoya's. Rachel's house is next to Craig's. If Rachel lives in the first house on the left, who lives in the first house on the right? So the first thing that I would do is draw a picture. So once you have 4 houses, you know that Rachel lives in the first house on the left. Then you need to go back and read the information in the first paragraph. There are 4 houses on one side of the street. John's house is between Rachel's and Latoya's. Rachel's house is next to Craig's. The first part of that is John's house is between Rachel's and Latoya's. And then the second part says Rachel's house is next to Craig's. So we already know that Rachel lives in the first house and Craig has to live right next door to her. So we're going to put C for Craig. Now all that we have left is going to be Latoya and John. And we know that John lives between Latoya and Rachel. So Latoya has to live on the end and John has to live between Latoya and Rachel. So the question is, who lives in the first house on the right? The right is right here, so that would be Latoya.